Well, hello, friends, and welcome back to Commute Talk. Today, I thought I would talk a little bit about this thing that I keep seeing on Twitter, especially, where people with a lot of experience programming, they post these things along the lines of, "Hey, everyone, retweet this if you are a programming senior and you still have to Google basic syntax." Um, this kind of feel-good bait, I guess. And I think that it's something that's extremely detrimental to beginners and newcomers. And this idea that you can lead or inspire by empathy, I think that is extremely misguided, because people, like programmers who are starting out, they are not inspired by empathy. That's just reality, right? People are inspired by the things that you would be able to create. They're inspired by cool software, cool demos, cool games, and the thing that we really want to show beginners is what's possible. And I know when I was starting out, I would look up to anyone who had been doing it for longer than me, because they were able to do these amazing things. Like, there used to be this guy who worked at my he was a coworker of my father, and I was like 6 years old, and I looked up to this guy so much because I know I had some very specific reason. Like, I think it was that his basic programs were using GoSub, I think, and I thought that was amazing. Like, wow, he knows how to use GoSub. I don't really understand how GoSub works. And I think that's really the type of feeling that you want to have when you're a beginner. Like, you're looking at someone who's been doing it for longer than you have, and you see that they can do stuff that you can't, and it just drives you to keep going and keep learning. And that's the kind of thing that you want to encourage and inspire in people with less experience than you. And it grinds my gears a little bit when I see people who should know better, and they run around saying basically that, hey, it's okay if you can't learn how to use your tools. I can't learn it either, and I've been doing it for so long. Because it's not true, is it, right? Like, you know how to use your tools. You're just pretending that you don't, so to try to make someone feel better about being a beginner. And I understand that the people who do this, they have good intentions, and they're not trying to hurt anyone, but they are, right? It does damage. It does damage to people when they're beginners to basically say that it does, because what you're saying is that it doesn't matter if you practice or if you study or whatever. I've been doing it for so long, it doesn't lead anywhere. Like, I still suck at this as much as you do. I mean, I'm exaggerating quite a bit here, but you sort of get what I'm trying to say. Now, I don't mean that we should run around try to pretend that we are these flawless beings who know everything, but I think we could definitely focus a lot more on leading by example instead of leading by empathy, because empathy does not inspire. Like, it just doesn't. And people need to be inspired. Now, I'm not saying that there's not a place for empathy, but this over reliance on empathy and this weird focus shift that's happened in the field of software, I think it's really detrimental to the field as a whole. And it's typical overcorrection, right? Like, maybe things were a little bit harsh, and a lot of people came in who were not used to this type of environment, and maybe we needed to make it a little bit more beginner friendly or whatever, but we've overcorrected like crazy, and now you have an industry of people walking on eggshells, and it's pretty silly. And uh, I think it's important to reconsider a lot of these things, because there's more than enough empathy in software. Like there's an abundance of empathy, and what we do need is to shift focus back to technical excellence, and to inspire others by showing them what's possible. And I certainly don't think that I am the best programmer in the world, or that I am some amazing anything, but I do try to do my part, and I don't run around pretending to not know what I'm doing. I just do my best, and I try to show beginners what's possible, and show them the honest process. And of course I make mistakes, like everyone makes mistakes, but I want people to be able to see what you can actually do if you keep at it, because I certainly don't have to Google basic syntax all the time. And sure, I have to Google things sometimes, and that's normal, but to pretend like it's all the time, it's just weird. Anyway, I guess it kind of grinds my gears a little bit, because I feel very fortunate to have come up in this field while it was still like very much about inspiring each other, and there was this culture of like showing off, and it bred a lot of cool stuff. Because growing up in the 1990s and being into software, like there was a lot of stuff like demos, and crack groups would have these little intros and stuff, and you would, and you're a kid, you don't have money for software, so you end up seeing a lot of intros, and these things were cool, and they made me feel like, holy shit, like there's all this stuff, I have no idea how to do any of this, but it evidently is possible. And I think that was really, really good for me, because it gave me a very good perspective on just how little I knew. And now that I know a lot more, I can relate to that perspective a lot better, because now I don't know everything yet. I know a little bit more, but I certainly don't know everything, or even a quarter of it. Like there's so much stuff. But I really appreciate that my view was expanded so much at an early age, when I was very much a beginner in programming, that I got to see that you can do so much, and there was no one telling me that like, hey kid, I've been doing this for 10 years and I made this intro, but it was mostly just luck, I just banged the keyboard and finally something happened. And if you keep banging the keyboard, maybe you'll make it too. I mean, that's actually not a half bad sentiment now that I think about it. Just keep banging the keyboard. But people need inspiration, damn it. You don't need to hold their hand. You need to show them how high the sky really goes. Because when you're new and you see someone experienced doing their thing, it looks like they're touching the sky. And to have that experience of seeing someone touch the sky, it's really, really good for your development, because it expands your horizons and it inspires you to do better and to be better. At least that's what I think. I suppose this may be a contentious subject, but that's how I feel about it. So just getting something off my chest. So thanks for listening to that. And thanks everyone for hanging out with me on the commute. I guess I'll see you next time. Bye.